dapat ipaliwanag para sa bansang kailangan magdalo para sa kinabukasan ng ating bayan.
SONA 2016, Duterte's First.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Change has come.
All of us want peace. Not the peace of the dead, but the peace of the living.
The Philippines' 16th President, Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
This is a story about Filipino courage. People who get bullied but never back down. A nation that shows greater strength when faced with bigger.
Good evening and welcome to INQ&A. The Inquirer Question and Answer program comes every Tuesday. Every week, we sit down with the leading newsmaker to discuss the issues of the day. And tonight, we have a very special guest. We are live on Radyo Inquirer 990. Magandang gabi po sa mga nakikinig. We are also live on Facebook. Good evening to our viewers. And we are live on Inquirer 990 television, on digital TV, and on Inquirer.net's social media accounts. Maayong gabi sa inyong tanan. I'm Christine Sabilio, Chief of Reporters of Inquirer.net, and with me is John Neri, our Editor-in-Chief.
Good evening, Christine. Good evening, everyone. We have indeed a very special guest, and we'll do it. We'll introduce him the INQ&A way. 3 things you might not know about our guest. First, at the age of, I think, 21, he became a brand manager for Procter & Gamble.
20.
At the age of 20. Okay. Number 2. Second, at the age of 25, he became the youngest member of the 1971 Constitutional Convention.
Or CONCON.
Or CONCON. And number 3, and actually this is a little, this is very serious. He knows violent crime up close. Unlike many other political leaders, he knows what it means because his own father in 1967 was assassinated, Mayor James Gordon of Olongapo City. After 3 attempts. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very happy to introduce to you our guest of honor, Senator Richard Dick Gordon.
John, thank you very much. Christine, I guess I'm beside Beauty and the Beast here.
Sino po ang beauty, sir?
That's up for the audience to decide. Maybe I'm the Beast. In Bisaya. Yeah.
Okay, so wala na pong paligoy-ligoy before we get to the really long discussion later on politics. Well, on the Senate, actually. We'll be sharing some questions from social media. We don't usually start with questions from Facebook, but this one from Glenn Medal is quite interesting. Glenn asks, would you run for president again in the future? Everybody knows you ran as president in 2010 as one of the Transformers. So, would you consider doing that again?
Well, nothing is cast in stone. God is my co-pilot, and that is my answer.
Okay. How does God send his messages to you?
Well, I always have little prayers every day, and so far as that is concerned, I go where I will make a difference. I cannot say yes, I cannot say no. I have no agenda except the Senate right now and my Red Cross duties, as well, of course, my family.
Okay, thank you very much, Senator. Senator, I have a series of questions here about the Senate dynamics. Very interesting itong 17th, the Senate of the 17th Congress. And already, only in its first month, you are shaping up to be a key player in the Senate dynamics. Can you tell us paano po nabuo yung the new majority in the Senate?
Would you believe, John, I deliberately walked away from it. I even went to Geneva.
Okay.
That's
a long walk, huh?
Yeah, and I immediately nung nangyayari yan, Mick Subiri and I are good friends. We worked together. He was the majority floor leader. And I was one of the senators that worked with in 2000 and in the 13th
and then 14th
13th Congress, yeah. And we more or less try to walk the same path whenever we can. And at that time, we were being wooed. I had no special relationships with anybody. Frank Drilon called me and I said, hold up a will while there's a new president, and I want to make sure that he knows where he's going, and I have a lot of friends in the cabinet, at least the brewing cabinet at that time. And I said, I'd like to give the president a chance to be able to do his agenda. If he needs my help, I will be glad to help him. And so I never got a call from Coco Pimentel until the last moment. And
I see.
But Alan Peter Cayetano came over, and maybe 2 or 3 times until I said, well, I don't want to be. I was getting signals that it was going to be him. So there was another signal it was going to be Coco was going to be supported. I have nothing against this gentleman. Senate presidency is a title. It's what you do with the title that matters. So sabi ko, sige, para hindi na magulo. Since I was getting clear signals that it was the other guy, namely Alan Peter Cayetano, was going to do it. And he went to my house, and I said, see, I'll sign it, because he was asking. He needed my signature very, very badly so he can convince the others. Sabi ko, I don't think you can convince others with my signature. But I did sign it, and said, okay, once I sign, dyan na ako. Hindi na ako palipat-lipat. I don't want any transactions from you. I'm not asking anything. They were promising me this committee, that committee. Sabi ko, whatever committee is given to me, I will do it.
Like Senator...
And eventually, both senators, later on, nung pumasok na si Coco, it was very clear. I had to call Alan Peter, I had to call my friends up there, and I said, ano ba talaga? Wala na ba talaga kayong kuwan? Sige, magpapaalam ako ng maayos. Sabi ko kay Coco, magpapaalam muna ako kay Alan Peter bago ako pipirma sa iyo. So, pagbigyan mo na muna ako, hindi muna ako pipirma. And I called up Alan Peter, and Alan Peter said, sige, Senator, go ahead, and because nauna na nga siya sa majority, no? So sabi, and actually the first person who wanted me was Lauren Legarda. Sabi niya, magsama tayo, pero ako, I'm not much for this, yung block. Sabi, to me, let's get it on, let's get the job done. So nung sinabi na yun, nagpaalam muna ako kay Alan Peter, nagpaalam pa ako kay Senator Recto, because Senator Recto wanted me to go with him as in the minority. Sabi ko, sige, pag-iisipan ko. But then before I went to Coco, sabi ko, papaalam ako sa inyo, malinaw. And pinakita ko kay Coco na I'm a man of my word.
So when did you decide to join the majority? Only the weekend before?
Yeah, the weekend before. So, yan. Tapos sabi niya, we'll give you 2 committees. Sabi niya, wala ko hiningi. Sabi niya, well, everybody thinks you should go to the Blue Ribbon Committee.
Back to the Blue Ribbon.
Sabi ko, I don't know why. Sabi, everybody who took that committee did not fare well in the last elections. But I've done that before. And
yes.
I am not afraid of a challenge, and it is a very formidable position. It's perhaps one of the most important positions there. So I took it, and then I've been lang, bibigay yung Committee on Foreign Relations because I'm not really interested.
Bigat din yan.
So they were asking me, so sabi ko, sige, kung dyan. And then later on they asked me, ano preference mo? It was a choice between electoral reforms and government corporations. And I mean, I had other things in mind, like why government corporations were not doing what they were supposed to do. Why SSS cannot provide the pensions that are necessary. Why Subic lost its airport, Clark cannot be operated on. These were government corporations that we wanted to make it work, no?
So that's what you chose.
So yun ang sinabit ko na second choice.
Senator,
that's what I got.
There's a picture going around Twitter. This particular picture, I got it from the reporter Cristina Mendez. We'll flash it on the screen.
Where's the screen? Right there.
Oh, it's there, sir.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
This one. Sorry. Halatang hindi pa kami sanay sa booth. Ano?
I think that was last night.
That was last night. No? So you have 7 senators. Senator Joel. You have Senator JV, Senator Cynthia, Senator Alan, Senator Ralph, Senator Migs, and you.
Yeah.
And then with the President and Finance Secretary, ano?
That was an offshoot of...
ano ba to? Fellowship lang? Ano ba?
No. That's an offshoot of Sunny Dominguez asking me if I can attend a finance briefing. And we postponed it twice. So finally, Alan said, matagal na tayong gusto makausap rin ng Presidente. Tumiming na tayo dyan. So, Mick Subiri had attended the oath-taking of his father. I don't know for what. And then, so...
I think his brother also.
And so when I went there, it was straight off. They served a little humble dinner, and they came up and said, we would like to get your support on tax reforms. We'd just like to make they didn't even ask us, so sige na, tulungan nyo kami dyan. But they just gave a fantastic presentation of tax reform.
This is Sonny Dominguez.
Sonny Dominguez and his staff, you know. And Sonny is a friend from way back in college. We were both dorm mates.
Ganun ba?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I've always had the highest respect for him. And so, the president just sat quietly. And then, you know, we made our comments. I made some comments on tax amnesty. Bago kayo magbigay niyan. I made some comments on property taxes and the other things. And Mix did the same thing. And then afterwards, we talked about sundry items. Like, you know, there were certain exposés that were going to be made. Sabi niya, you cannot shut my mouth. It's my duty to protect the Filipino people. So he mentioned some names. And and that was it. You know, we talked about how we can solve traffic. There were all kinds of suggestions. And I kind of like the mood of the president last night. He was kind of relaxed. I think, you know, he remembers our days when we were both mayors, and and he would call me, you know, Dick, etc. And the other senator. And then later on, he switched to Senator, sir. Naiibahan naman ako sa iyo. Sabi ko, ba't mo ko tinatawag na biglang senator? Sir, you know, Dick is fine. You know, kami na lang dalawa yan. But we didn't talk about anything else. That's about it. We ended that early. In fact, I arrived there if I'm not mistaken, between 9:30 and 10. I left the Senate kind of late. And then I thought I was already late. And I guess we started mga 9:30 and we finished at 11.
Yung merong nag-share nito tapos is it fair to call this the Duterte 7?
No.
Senators?
No. Remember that there was nothing requested from us except to listen to the tax reform. Yeah. When the president is there, you take advantage and you listen, and you I kind of watch him. He transitioned from being a local mayor from way out there in Mindanao, and I kind of like the transition. I mean, I kind of think that if I was there, what would I do? And ganun rin yun. So I'm happy.
Marami rin kami nag-iisip, what would you do if you were in his position?
Rudy Duterte won because he said the things and he expressed the concerns that every Filipino wanted in a very, very direct, sometimes coarse language that many people understand in this country. The insecure ones especially. The ones who ride the jeepneys and are afraid tututukan ka ng kutsilyo. Or yung mga tao na kapitbahay ko tutulak ng drugs, walang magawa ang gobyerno. The ones who felt helpless. And he gave the right message. Politics is about messages and a track record. And so he was elected with one of the largest majorities, I suppose, that ever.
Well, he got 38% of the vote.
He won by 6 million votes.
Yeah, about the same margin as Erap and Noynoy.
Well,
but
he was not a celebrity like Erap.
That's true.
His mother and father did not die.
Yeah,
so to my mind,
it is a really impressive landslide.
And so
landslide.
He's going by that mandate, and he is, in many ways, when I was mayor, I would say some of the things that he says. You know, sometimes when you talk to the Canel and the bourgeoisie, these are two different languages. You know, if you want to use the dialectics, the proletariat, iba yung lingwahe na. Dapat maintindihan nila. Pag kinakausap yung mga polis, dapat alam nila, siga ka, gagawin mo talaga yung gagawin mo at hindi ka natatakot sa kanila. At saka doon sa mga maton sa kalye, yung mga durugista, yung mga natutulak, you have to give them language that they understand. You know, nalakad ako ng araw sa Olongapo. Especially the first day, I arrested the policeman right away. Tumatanggap.
Okay.
Nandun ako sa isang kotse, and hinabol ko yung jeep, hindi ko hinabol yung police. Sumakay yung police. I remember his name. His name was Borgoña. and he rode the vehicle, sakay siya. Pagdating sa kanto, bumaba kagad, nagbubulsa. So hindi ko siya pinansin. Ang hinabol ko yung police. Yung jeepney, sabi ko, nagbigay ka, no? Hindi, sir. Nagbigay ka. Siyempre, kape lang yun. Nagbigay ka. Kailangan ko yung sabihin mo sa akin kung bakit ka nagbibigay. Kasi ang tawag namin doon, may forma. Nakakauna yung jeepney. Kaya nagkaka-traffic. So, tinawag ko yung police. umamin ka, kung hindi ka amin, ididemanda kita. I'm a trial lawyer, galing ako sa Accra Law. And sigurado, tatanggalin kita, wag-aawan. So, umamin siya, nag-apologize. Sige, volunteer ka to go to jail. So, naka-uniform siya, nakakulong siya. And that started the whole shebang, no? And then I would tell everybody na kung nakukulong ko ang police, matakot kayo, didiretso yun. And I also said the same thing to many people. Alam ko, my father was assassinated here. There were 3 attempts in his life. Involved pa ang police. Yung chief of police. No? And there were 3, not hand grenades thrown at my father. Galit ako when I took over. Sabi ko, huwag niyo na ako hintayin pang expose ko kayo. And nangyayari dyan. Natatakot yung mga pulis. Siyempre, palay ko, may namamatay sa kalye, natatakot sila, baka ibubulgar sila ng mga alaga nila. Yung mga snatcher.
Is that what's happening now?
To a certain extent, to me, one of the fantastic things that the president did was, sinabi ko yan doon sa aking reaction doon sa mga speeches. I want, hindi nagpa-interpolate si Laila de Lima. I found that strange. Secretary of Justice ka. Magpi-privilege speech ka tapos hindi ka magpapa-interpolate. So, hindi ko naman, nagsalita si Alan, so nagtanong kami.
Yes.
Nagtanong sabi ko, hindi ba kayo nagtataka ang tao tumitingin sa kabila, hindi nila tinitingnan yung nangyayari halos. Dahil nga, alam nila, yung nangyayari, dapat walang nangyayari. Kahit ano sumbong mo, walang nangyayari. Lumalabas ulit eh. So, siya ba nagpapatay? Hindi ko alam. Sinabi niya bang papatayin ko? Yes. Sinabi niyang papatayin kita, iba lang yun pag sinabi papatayin kita mismo. And I'm not looking at one. Killing is killing and I'm not going to condone it. Sabi ko nga doon, sabi ko kay Secretary de Lima, Senator de Lima, may smoking gun Kung may smoking gun, halimbawa yung police, nakaposas, binaril ng tao, meron kang smoking gun. May testigo, nakaposas, walang kalaban naman, binaril, nangaago ng baril, abay, pwede mong kasuhan yan. Kakasuhan ka ba sa Blue Ribbon? Hindi. May proseso Internal affairs. Ginawa natin yung batas na yan. Internal affairs, kailangan investigahin ng pulis, yung kapwa nila pulis, kaagad at magbigay ng report.
Nabanggit nga ni Senate Majority Leader Tito Soto yan. That was one of the better inventions. Baka nga dapat yung internal affairs ang...
Yun ang sinabi sa akin. Marami nga nagtanong yan. Pati si Senator Chino, meron ba ganun? Oo. Yan. Kailangan ganun yan. And so, we're not just going to investigate anybody just because we want to investigate. Let the process work. Yan. Meron. Investigate niya. Kung ano nangyari dyan at meron magko-complain at talagang nakita natin there's a defect in the system, then we go ahead. But, when you start talking about extrajudicial killings, come on. Ang daming pinapatay. Nung panahon ng tatay ko, binaril si Laurel. Binaril si Amante, Congressman Amante. Binaril si Crisologo habang nagkukomunyon. There were people being killed left and right. Ang daming pinapatay ng araw. Before that, panahon ni Sado Macapagal, mayroong Maliwalo massacre. Before that, sinabi ni Julio Nalundasan, my name is Julio Nalundasan. I personally believe President Ferdinand Marcos killed my father on radio. This has been going on and on and on. Wala nangyayari. Nag-away kami ni President Marcos. Bakit ka bumaboto sa ban Marcos? Because there were 3 attempts on my father's life. Kinamute niya pa yung sentence ng isa. Kaya I cannot vote. Because, una, bawal mag-extend. Nag-aaral ako ng law. Nakalagay, nobody can extend himself. Pangalawa, mukhang hindi niya naman pinapansin yung hinaing ng mga tao katulad ko na ang tatay ko. Pinatay, hindi nangyari. Sabi pa niya, rescind the commutation for having been issued under false pretenses. Hindi mo naman magagawa yung committed na. So, ano ang justice? Even the Aquinos. Bakit nagtataka ako? May presidente tayo, Cory, forgive me, I ask for the forgiveness of sila Cory at sila Noynoy, presidente na kayo. You have all the powers in your command. Bakit hindi natin mahuli yung mga tao nagpapatay? Kung ako yun, hahanapin ko lahat yan. Gagawin ko lahat para andyan pa yung mga naghatid kay Ninoy sa Tarmac Abay, pitpitin natin yan. Maraming question. Bakit walang lumalabas? So, we are all in the same boat na walang nangyayari. People are killed left and right. Walang nangyayari. And ako, one time may binaril yung judge. Alam niya yan. Hindi ko na tiga-aklan yung judge na yun. Yung babae, Ateneo Law School graduate yun. Pagkatapos yung kanyang asawa, judge, binaril sa Batangas. Inimbestiga ko yan. Sinabihan ko si General Aglipa, ang misiwa, dinahuli, drug lord doon sa loob ng Muntinlupa, nakakulong, nakakapagpa-order. My father, pinalabas sa Muntinlupa, pinalabas sa preso ng Subic Jail yung mga nagtatapon ng granada sa kanya, yung bumabaril sa kanya. At ang intention, pag napatay, babalik doon sa jail. Kaya nung nag-mayor ako, learning from that, pag may darating ng mga barko, malinis na yung bayan ko, pag may darating ng barko, bilangan nyo yung preso dyan. Walang makalabas. Wala lang snatcher, wala lang pickpocket, wala lang dudukot. Because systemic ang problema. Systemic. So, unless we do something about it, unless somebody comes in and says, ayan, nangyari yan. Ako, nasasaktan ako. I don't want to beat a dead horse sa mamasapan, no? Nakita mo, kumikisa yung tao, binabaril. Aba, teka muna. Tanong mo ko, kung ako presidente, anong gagawin ko? Sasabihin ko, oy, kayo, mga kaibigan ko rin sa MILF, sabihan nyo yung mga yan, tigilan nila yan. Papadala ko lahat ng helicopter ko, papadala ko lahat ng artillery ko dyan, papadala ko lahat ng sundalo, lulusubin namin kayo because pinapatay nyo yung mga tao. Hindi nyo dapat patayin yan. Police action yan. Wala nangyari. Si Purisima is off to the stage. Paano siya nakakalusot na gano'n na lumalabas siya na siya pa ang kinukonsulta samantalang may kaso siya? There is a broken system in our society. Ayoko nang tumakbo kayo. Napilitan ako. Nag-usap lang kami ng Senate President ngayon. Sabi ko, sa totoo lang, ayoko nang tumakbo. Mapipilitan na naman ako sa mga ganyan. Kaya sa Blue Ribbon, nag-aalangan ako. Sabi ko, pag nag-umpisa ako, sabi niya, mukhang mabait ka ngayon. Hindi ka ako. I'm just taking my time. Because pag nagsimula ako dyan, hindi ko titigilan yan. And that's what it is. So, if we have a government like this, whatever government you have, we are all products of that government. That's why ngayon may CONCON, may CONAS. Bakit? Hindi naman nag-work. Do you think mag-change ang ating bayan pag nag-federal tayo? You the same people? Ang kailangan natin, inner change. Ang sinabi ko noong March 3, 1980, what this country needs is not just a change of men, but a change in men. Baguhin natin ang attitude natin. Unahin muna natin yung duty first, sense of common good. Yun muna. Kasi hindi mangyayari na magbago.
Si Christine yata may tanong tungkol sa CONAS.
Mainit na yung usapan. I think babalikan natin after the commercial break yung issue ng drug killings. But nabanggit na ni Senator yung tungkol sa CONAS. If I'm not mistaken, I think the first time you became a senator, you were pro-CONAS.
Yes.
But recently, you expressed support. You were pro-CONCON, and in fact, you're the youngest delegate. So now, you express support for CONAS. Was there a change?
No, there was never any change. I was always for CONAS. Sinabi ko yan sa Senado. Sabi ko, magko-CONCON tayo, magbabayad tayo ng eleksyon na naman. Yung mga bata-bata niya mga yan. Kami noon, non-partisan constitutional convention. I was a student leader at UP. Kasama ko si Edjo from Ateneo, Lakas Diwa. Ginawa namin yan. We were for non-partisan. Ano nangyari? Partisan! Marcos said this kind of
day. So your own experience of the CONCON.
It's the reason of why.
Papasukin niya, papasukin. Don't think that we are living in a world now people are good, they're bad. And it becomes good only when the good strives to change it. If you say CONCON, it is not a magic formula. Papasukin yan. Delegate Quintero, I remember, pinasok yan. May mga envelopes yan. Whatever that was, may envelope na binigay para bumoto. Well, that is part of the system. Boss, wala kaming pera dito. Ang sweldo namin dito, 100 pesos a day. Hinarang ko pa nga yung 3,000 pesos na dinagdag natalo ko sa Korte Suprema. Ang usapan dito, 100 piso lang. Binigyan tayo ng 3,000. Francis Garcia Terena and I, we went to the Supreme Court. Natalo kami. So, nagbibigay ng envelope nung araw sa mga ilang delegates from Leyte, from Sama. Nagkaroon pa ng expose. Ni-raid si Delegate Quintero sa bahay niya. The guy got sick. Old man, a retired diplomat. Hindi niya nakuha yung mga benefits niya. Talagang bakbakan nung araw. Talagang pinapakailaman yan. At pinapakailaman rin ng oposisyon. I was with the Urbang Lapus at the time. And hindi nila kami mapihit, no? Pero talo kami palagi.
The Young Turks.
So your experience, from your experience, you think that CONCON wouldn't work? It's better to have CONCON.
Ang sinasabi ko, ito, go start from the bottom line. Naintindihan ba ng tao yung 1971 Constitution? Taas ang kamay na nagugutom.
Kaya napasa.
That is the exaggerated thing. Yung iba, hindi, boboto ko dyan. Gusto ko yan. Yung bang ginawa ng sinasabi, unfair to Cory Constitution I don't call it the Cory. It is our Constitution.
Sure, yes.
Hindi Cory Constitution yun. Hindi naman siya kasama dun I don't think she quite fully understood all the issues there. Like most of us did. No? yung mga sinabi doon, pumoto ka na dyan. Kasi kung di ka boboto dyan, revolutionary government tayo. Is that a choice? Talagang pinag-aralan ba isa-isa yan? I campaigned against it.
Yeah.
I went all over the place to campaign against the Cory Constitution. If you want to call it that, because for lack of a better term.
Let's call it the 1987 Constitution.
Pinusasan natin ang sarili natin doon sa bases. Foreign military bases, troops and facilities shall not be allowed. Sinasabi mo on your own. Para sinabi ni Duterte, against ako doon sa unilateral ceasefire. Kaya nasabay. Baba nyo muna yung armas nyo, baba na yung armas. Dito, sa Constitution natin, foreign military bases, troops or facilities shall not be allowed in Philippine territory unless it is ratified and ratified by the other treaty and ratified in a plebiscite. Abi, teka muna, pag sinugod ba tayo ng China, time out. Yaman muna namin yung Constitution namin. Mag-treaty muna tayo, mag-ayos muna tayo doon. To me, tinalian mo yung sarili mo. You cannot call your allies to come in right away. And makita nyo ngayon, may troops. Sabi ng Supreme Court, legal. Ang tagal pa, umabot pa sa Korte Suprema. Ayoko yung maraming inayuhan ko dyan na yung mga provisions na makakahadlang sa negosyo. No? At ayoko yung reactionary masyado yung Constitution na tinatalian natin ang ating mga kwan. But did it change our country? I don't think it did.
Pero yung sa usaping constitutional change, whether it's through a con or through a con-as, yung sinasabi nyo na nagiging partisan din, lalabas din yun, whether it's con or con-as.
Kaya ang bottom line ko dyan, tatanungin mo yung tao, bibigay mo ba yung Constitution mo o gusto mo ba naintindihan niya yan? Ang gusto ko, kaya gusto ko con-as, magbangko tayo sa America, First Amendment, free speech. Every American knows that. Another famous one.
Except for a certain Donald Trump.
I invoke.
Hindi nga alam na First Amendment is
you're being media mean. Tama yun. Ako na don't agree with that. Pero number 5, Fifth Amendment. I cannot incriminate myself. Alam na lahat niya. Because naintindihan nila. Dito, lahat ibibigay mo. Hindi naintindihan ng tao. Parang Brexit, to simplify it, and I don't like to simplifying it, na pinakasimple. Yes or no? Remain or leave? Sabi nila, leave by a hairline margin. Ngayon, they're saying, kamali tayo. Ulitin natin. Kamali tayo. Naghihirap tayo.
Senator, I think we need to take a break for a while. Itutuloy natin yung discussion natin. Before that, we would just want to greet our viewers from other countries. We have people watching from Hong Kong, Saudi, Kuwait, Dubai, Qatar, and Spain. So thank you to everyone watching IN Q&A with Senator Dick Gordon. We'll be back after a few minutes.
Hey Manila, this September, WWE Live is heading your way with 2 must-see main events. It's the Powerhouse versus The Architect when Roman Reigns goes one-on-one against Seth Rollins. Plus, Chris Jericho collides with Finn Balor. Don't miss your chance to see all your favorite superstars, including the one and only John Cena, when WWE Live heads to Manila on September 9th. Tickets available. For more information, log on to WWE.com. Talent subject to change.
SONA 2016, Duterte's First.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Change has come.
We cannot move forward if we allow the past to pull us back. Finger pointing is not the way. That is why I will not waste precious time dwelling on the sins of the past or blaming those who are perceived to be responsible for the mess that we are in and suffering from.
The Philippines' 16th President, Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
I make that fast.
So welcome back to IN Q&A with Senator Dick Gordon. But Senator, before actually we go back to that, singit ko lang yung some questions from social media. It's gonna be fast. There's this one question from Facebook from Roland Rogayan. He's asking if you have shared the master plan for SBMA with President Duterte. You know, you have a lot of supporters.
Last
and
night I
fans
said that.
actually.
Last night I said that. Ang sabi ko, Mr. President, on Monday, I will be opening up the Mindanao Railway.
Okay.
I also authored the Mindanao Development Plan. Matagal ko nang gusto yung Mindanao Railway because ang hirap-hirap mag-ship doon. Mas mahal para sa dito kaysa sa Amerika. Dali mo sa Maynila. So, but don't forget, sa norte, meron ka ng 3 airport. Subic, Clark, Manila. Meron kang 4 na seaport. Subic, Mariveles, Manila, and Batangas Seaport. Meron kang isang road. Ang tawag ko dyan, 143, dati 321. I love you.
143.
I love you. Bakit? Isang railroad, kung gagawin mo yan, napakaganda yan. Kabit-kabit yan. The railroads made America great in the 1860s. And by the way, with the railroad, even before Rizal was killed, even before with our first constitution, ginawa natin yan. In 4 years. Ito, hindi natin magawa. Nawala pa. Sabi ko nga sa Dagupan, sa Bulacan kahapon, alam niyo ba ang nangyari sa dito? Meron na tayong railroad, hindi natin ginamit. Ninako pa yung railroad, hindi natin alam kung saan napunta. Literally, nawala sa atin. So ngayon, sabi ko kay President Duterte kagabi, sabi ko, Mr. President, you have all this. All you have to do is bring in the investments. You can decongest Manila.
Yeah.
Ilipat mo yung mga goods. Ibig mo, bigyan mo pa ng incentives. Pero yung pinag-usapan namin kagabi, ayaw nila ng incentives na mga tax breaks. No? Pero I think we have to do that. No? Pagka sinabi mo, ilabas mo yung mga pabrika sa Maynila at dapat kung saan nagtrabaho yung tao, doon na siya maninirahan. May bahay ng kasama. Doon na rin mag-aaral yung mga bata. So, pump-priming for Central Luzon and for others. No? Pump-priming sa Maynila, gigibayin mo, mamuha ng employment, di ba? Pag naggawa ka ng panibagong design doon, another pump-priming. Pero maganda yan, pupunta dyan, ang Taiwan may go south ngayon. Numpa yan sa akin. Kaya nakuha ko yung Taiwan. Pero hindi natin naitigil dahil palit-palit tayo eh. So, ngayon bumabalik ang Taiwan go south. Ang Japan, ang Vietnam, ang kumukuha ang Vietnam sa China. Dapat makakuha tayo. Ang Japan, kagawa raw ng railroad para sa atin. Eh di samantalayin natin, kunin natin lahat yan. Saan mo ilalagay? Hindi mo pwede sabihin, doon. Kailangan meron ka ng bawat lugar, may subdivision ka dyan. Sa Bandi, Bulacan, sa Pulilan, sa Pampanga. Meron ka na talagang industrial park dyan. Magkano ang lote dyan? Magkano ang renta? May kuryente ba? May tubig ba dyan? Meron kayong mga eskwela? Para maibebenta mo, papasok. So, pag pinagdikit mo lahat yan, hanap buhay, galore. Subic, Clark, Manila.
Yung 143, 1 railroad, 4 seaports, 3 airports.
At saka may gastos ka pa dyan, di ba? NLEX ginawa ni Marcos noong araw. Tapos meron pa tayo yung SCTEX. Meron ka pa ng TIPLEX. Pag gumastos ka ng infrastructure, meron ka pa ng South Superhighway. Huwag nyo na akong paniwalaan. Paniwalaan nyo, nung ginawa yung Calabarzon, nagawa yun dahil may South Superhighway. Magkabila ng highway, yun ang sinasabi ko, pinapakita ko. Meron mga pabrika, yung Santa Rosa, naging Detroit of the Philippines.
Yeah. Ano namang response ni President?
Oo, ganado siya. And that's what I sabi ko, Sir, kako, kung gusto niyo, even as senator, I would lead delegation, sasama ako sa mga gusto niyo, utusan niyo ako. Pupuntahan ko ulit yung ginawa ko ng RS Subic at mag-iimbita ako, hindi lang dito, muna sa Mindanao, sa lahat ng lugar. And I can do that. That's one of the things I can do. And as a senator, mas malakas ang dating pagka masasabi mo, we will have the rule of law. We will not change the rules in the middle of the game. Yun pa rin ang rule ko. To me, these are great moments na dapat nating isiseize. Nangyari na sa Subic na wala pa yung FedEx. Kwarta na naging bato pa. 18 flights a day in that airport. Umiyak ako dyan nung nakuha ko yung FedEx.
Umiyak ka din nung umalis.
Ay, naku. Nagpunta pa ako para ako nakipaglibing. Because ang hirap-hirap namin kinuha yan. Namili kami ng radar. Pinangutahan ko ng World Bank. Namili ako ng ILS. Kompleto yan. The best lang. Para sa IPIC, yung dating pagawa na aeroplano, ginawang airport. We had 18 flights a night of heavy laden aircraft. Dito sa Maynila, araw-araw, bumababa lahat ang maraming eroplano. Sobra-sobra. Kung pagtataka ka ba na masisira talaga yung pavement doon, magkakaroon ng balat yan na lalabas, no?
Senator, just to go back to the question of the
Yes.
Our social media partner, in a nutshell, what is the secret of Subic? What is the plan? What is the Subic plan that you
Yun ang
presented?
plan. Parang kung nakita mo ito yung Hong Kong nung araw island, tumawid sa Kowloon.
Integrated development.
Tumawid sa Kowloon, tapos napunta sa New Territories, tapos napunta sa Shenzhen, tapos napunta na sa buong China.
So, ganon.
Ganon yan. Integrated. Kumbaga, sa New York.
Kung sa Mindanao, saan magsisimula dapat?
Davao is the principal port. Cagayan is the port of tingin mo, pag iikot ka sa Mindanao, iikot pa sa along the peninsula going to Zamboanga.
Zamboanga, ganun pa.
Iikot ka. Dapat may kanal yan doon sa may Zamboanga del Norte. Tayo sa isang bayan doon. Tignan ko nung araw yan. Pero matagal. Kung may railroad ka, lahat ng goods, products, dadalhin mo doon sa Cagayan de Oro. Andun ang barko, takbo na yan. Di ba? Meron ka ng airport sa Davao. Meron kang airport sa Laninlingan, sa Cagayan de Oro. Meron kang airport sa Zamboanga. So, magkakaroon ng hanap buhay. Kasi, ang nagpatalo sa Amerika, 1863 hanggang 1868, yung railroad, it was the most corrupt project on earth. Congressman, senators, presidente lahat, nagkaroon ng pera dyan, pati media. They had a book there, Stephen Ambrose. Nothing like it anywhere. Pero nung magawa yun, lahat ng bagong mga tao, kasi mag-civil war, ini-exploit yung the South ng mga carpetbaggers, ginawa ni Grant, dalhin natin lahat sa
West.
The West. O nagpunta lahat yung bagong immigrants doon.
Go West, young man.
Young man. Yung produkto nila ngayon, napadala sa East. Yung mga grapes, yung mga pagkain nila, lahat yan. Lumakas na yan sa Amerika.
Ito, Senator, related din sa Subic. We have a follower from the chat up line asking if the Disney World project in the Philippines, possibly in Subic, will push through. Sabi niya, dito sa Pinas kasi para po sana sa mga hindi makakarating sa Orlando, Paris, or Hong Kong Disneyland. I think this rumor started circulating when President Aquino visited the executives of Walt Disney. Is there truth to this rumor? Is it possible?
Natuto ako maaga niyan eh. Nung araw pag nagpunta ka doon, hindi porque nag-MOU ka o gusto mong dalhin doon, mangyayari yan. Remember, they are in China, they're in Japan. Malalaking population nila yan. Maganda yung airport nila, they're in Hong Kong. So, kailangan maganda yung mga airport natin. Kung tatlo yung airport mo, hindi mangyayari na hindi magagamit yung Manila International Airport. Baba ka sa Clark, hindi ka makababa, 6.5 hours ka, 9 hours. I have letters, nagko-complain. Hindi mo magamit yung Subic. Perhaps, because of our population, because tumataas ang ating ekonomiya, baka makuha mo Universal Studios, baka makuha mo yung Disneyland. Why don't we make our own? Doon sa Subic, meron yung i-advertise ko nito, kawawa naman yung mga doon, yung Tiger Land. Meron sila doon meron sila nung yung dolphin show. Ayoko yung animals in captivity, pero it's an experience sa mga tao. Gusto, popular yan. You don't have to get a Disneyland. Konting advertising lang yan. Marami na. Ang importante, magkaroon ng hanap buhay from Bulacan to Pampanga to Tarlac, hanggang Pangasinan, hanggang La Union, hanggang Norte, patungo din sa South, sa Bataan, merong Mariveles Freeport Zone, sa Zambales, yung coastline yan, yung beaches yan, hanggang sa Batangas, merong another road that will bypass Manila going to Batangas Seaport. Parang you have JFK, you have LaGuardia, and you have Newark. Tatlong airports sa New York. May mga seaports sila, New Jersey Seaport. Haneda in Japan, together with Narita. Lahat yan. Gamitin mong infrastructure. Ang infrastructure, hindi ginagawa yan na this is a project of Senator Buaya, of Congressman Pating. No? Yung infrastructure, hindi pinagyayabang. Yung infrastructure, para lumikha ng kabuhayan. Kung hindi nilikha ng kabuhayan, zero yan. Nothing. Wala
Senator,
nangyari.
Listening to you, I understand your reluctance to run again for the Senate. Kasi
I'm already a senator.
I know that. I know that. You're mentioning na anong una parang. Hindi kasi really your formative experience is that of an executive.
Yes.
No? So you are an administrator, you are CEO of the Philippine Red Cross, a premier humanitarian organization. Subic, Olongapo, kasama sa resume ninyo, sa tourism. Tapos sa Senate, medyo iba ang trabaho ninyo eh. You conduct hearings, you conduct debates. Do you feel like you're a fish out of water in the Senate?
No. Marami naman ako nagawa batas, di ba? Automated election nagawa natin. Pero tingin mo nagawa mo na yung batas, hindi papairali ng executive. Gawa yung batas ng automated election. Pinairal ba yung source code? Hindi. Dalawang election, walang source code. Sabi ni chairman ngayon ng COMELEC, meron raw source code. Hindi ko pa nakita yung source code na yan. Walang electronic signatures. 3 election. That's violation. Kaya nga, abangan ang susunod sa Blue Ribbon. Meron doon sa Tourism Enterprise Zone na ginawa ko sa tourism para lumakas. Kulang ang hotel. Kulang ang hindi binibigyan ng insentibo. Walang nabibigyan ng insentibo. Kailangan mo ng hotel. Ay, dami-dami. Binibigyan mo lahat ng pesa. Tayo natural sa tourism. 50 million Filipinos. So, Wow Philippines. Ngayon, 50 million have traveled sa Wow Philippines. Domestic tourism pa lang yan. Huwag mong liliitin yan. Malaki ang pera dyan. Marami yumaman doon sa probinsya because of that. Lalo na kung marami kang tinatayong tourist hotels, maayos yung
ito po yan,
yung environment, responsibility, maganda yan. Yayaman tayo dyan.
And then you have younger people, mga millennials, traveling in groups, mga barkada.
Correct.
Around the country and also...
food for thought. Singapore. Ilan ang pwede mong ilagay na Singapore sa buong Pilipinas? I think 641 Singapore.
Something like that.
641. Pero isang Singapore, talo ka sa tourism, talo ka sa foreign direct investment. They're number 1 in Asia. Diyan papasok ngayon yung sinasabi ko na importante kaya pumasok ko sa Senate. Gusto ko ayusin ang education. Gusto ko yung sweldo ng teacher talagang itaas mo na, ibigay mo lahat sa education. Yun ang gusto ko. Because pagka marunong na ang tao natin, marunong bumoto yan, may values yan, at makakakuha ka ngayon ng magaling na mga investors. Kaya ang Singapore, kaliit-liit. 5 million lang ata ang population yan, tayo 100 million. Pero kalidad yung population. Tinalo na ang mga doktor natin halos.
Pero some of the, they're attracting our doctors. Some of the best doctors in Singapore are Filipinos.
Our planners, our architects, our nurses. Nagpagamot ako dyan. Minsan akala nila mag-heart attack ako dahil nagpagamot ako ng ngipin. Sabi ng blood test, Sir, okay lumipad. Nandito na ako patingin kayo dahil nakalagay dito, mataas yung isang chemical. Pumunta ako, kala ko. Sabi, wala ako kayong heart attack. Parang Pilipina doctor, ang dami namin picture. Pilipina nurses. So, makita mo, ginagawa nila. In fact, binibigyan pa ng citizenship yung mga tao natin. So, why? Number 1 sila sa port operations. Number 1 sila sa education. Tinatalo nila lahat. Ang military nila, they have submarines, tayo wala. Marami silang C-130, tayo 2.5. Sila marami. Meron silang F-14.
Before, they just used to train here, the pilots.
Sa Panga ngayon, gusto na mag-train dito.
Hindi, nasa Guam na yata sila. Meron silang new arrangement. Senator, napag-usapan mo yung increase Meron tayong Facebook reader, si Nika. Sabi, Sir, may increase ba ang mga teachers ngayon?
Meron silang increase. Naka-program yan under executive order, no? Sa SG-11 pa-increase 19,000, 20,000 next year. Ano ba yan? Tingnan mo nga yung Singapore 133,000 per month. Tingnan mo nga yung Malaysia 90,000 per month. Tingnan mo nga yung China 50,000 per month. Tayo 19,000. Increase ba yan? Kahit na-increase mo ng 25,000 yan, talo ka pa rin.
Bawi pa sa
so ang gusto ko, kahit na ba paano, hinahanapan ko, believe you me pasensya na ho kayo, nagtatagal ako ng konti, pinail ko na yung bill na yan nung pang last time. Ang tawag ko dyan, Health Education Acceleration Program na gagamitin yung pera doon sa tax on tax para lumakas. Ang dami nagagalit sa akin nung araw. Ngayon, wala na yung tax. Nakuha na lang ibang mga Viber, mga kuha na, no? So, naghahanap ako ngayon kung saan tayo kukuha ng pera. Kanina, tinawag ko pa yung budget staff ng Senado para magtanong sa kanya, paano natin hahanapin itong pera ito? Ang kailangan mo, 219 billion para ma-extend, para mabigyan mo na sweldo yung teacher ng 35,000 pesos. Kailangan mo rin ng scholarship para nag-aaral ka pa sa UP. Paralin kita ng last 3 years mo, pero magtatrabaho ka sa teacher for the next 3 years.
If I'm not mistaken, the budget that was presented yesterday, may increase sa DepEd budget of 30%, abot ng 570 billion.
Correct.
Pero malaki dyan, maintenance, di ba, personal.
Hindi, yung mga sweldo man, yun yan. Pero yung mga kapagawa
is that enough?
No, hindi. Kaya dapat magdasal tayo na lahat ng Pilipino. Ang pag-asa natin, hindi yung binibigay sa inyo sa CCT. Ang pag-asa nyo, makapag-aral. Sabi nga nung staff ko doon sa, ayun, respetado ko yun, ito naman ako, si senior moments ako. Tinawag ko kanina si Yoli something, no? She's been working with me for a long time. Sabi niya, alam mo sir, alam ko yung sinasabi mo kasi pag isa lang makakollege sa isang pamilya, malaking na may tutulong noon. Sabi ko, kaya dapat bigyan mo talaga ng mahusay na teacher yan. 8 oras ang bata sa teacher. Dapat sila may hawak. madaling mag-file ng bill. Taas ko yung sweldo, 39,000. Saan mo
Saan
kukunin? Hahanapin
magagaling?
mo yun. Kaya, yan ang pinaghihirapan na isang legislator katulad ko. Kanina, tinawagan ko LTO. Kung babayad ba yung mga may-ari ng kotse dito ng another 1,000 para sa bawat kotse, 8.8 million ang may kotse, 8 billion lang yun.
Oh.
Ha? Kulang, layo.
Pero
Kung halimbawa lahat na may cellphone, o magalit na kayo sa akin, ha? Lahat ng cellphone, 27 million, nagbayad ng 1,000, 27 billion lang yun. So, ang layo natin eh. Hahanapin mo, hindi ko sinabi mangyayari yun, no? Pero hinahanapan ko ng paraan na mas madali, pero dapat intindi nyo, pag nag-tax, dapat may kapalit. Anong kapalit? The best teachers in the world to make the best teacher. Ang gusto kong sinabi ko na ito ilang beses, kahapon sinabi ko ito, kanina sinabi ko, ang aim ko is to make the Philippines, kung hindi tayo military power, the intellectual superpower of Asia, the creative country in the world. And we can do that. Pero may cost yan, magbabayad tayo, tutulong tayo lahat dyan.
nangyari na po yata sa atin for a short time in the late 19th century. Our Asian neighbors were looking at us.
Oh, yes.
Ito yung, so for instance, yung Indonesia at time na meron na tayong mga doktor katulad nila Rizal, wala pa silang college graduate, gano'n. Ano.
We had the highest literacy rate. We had the highest literacy rate in Asia. We were second only to Japan. Narinig nyo na yan. Pero masakit yan. Singapore kasi laki lang ng Subic Bay Metropolitan Authority. Sinlaki lang ng Clark. Tinatalo tayo. Tinatalo tayo ng Hong Kong. Why? They invested in education, good governance, meron silang common good. Takot ang Singapore sa Indonesia, takot sa Malaysia, takot sa China. Kaya sila parang Israel ang dating nila. Tayo dapat ganun. Dapat ganun ang dating natin. Kaya we need leaders na may vision.
Senator, binanggit mo na kanina yung Blue Ribbon. We're curious, ano yung priority nyo ngayon sa Blue Ribbon Committee?
Mapat yan. Kung talagang tutusin, magagalit sa akin. Bakit nawala yung
may teaser tayo.
yung radar, yung ILS, paliwanag nyo sa akin, paano nawala a complete airport. It is the country's alternate airport during my time and even before my time. Nawala lahat yan, hindi magamit. Bakit hindi ginagamit yung Clark? 2 runway. Ilagay mo na isa na lang runway kasi paradahan yung isang runway. Walang design na gano'n.
Tsaka ang ganda ng quality ng runway.
Ang ganda ng quality na. Kung 3 yan, hindi mahihirapan. Wala tayong reputational damage worldwide. Imagine, yung kaibigan ko galing sa Qatar, 6.5 hours. I was in the aircraft. They would not let me go. There was somebody suffering from asthma. Kapalabya, may Secretary General now in the Red Cross. 4.5 hours doon.
Dating Yusek mo sana.
Bumaba siya sa airport no isang araw from Apayao. Ayoko sa siya nagaling, ba't lumipad siya? 6.5 hours from Quezon City last Friday, from Manila, from airport to Quezon City.
Wow.
Unacceptable.
So that's the first,
yes.
Sa
hindi para
airport.
maghanap ng fault, pero alamin natin, paano natin paandarin yan?
What are the 3 other
bakit yung
issues?
Electoral reform? Basic democratic right to vote.
Electoral
Pati yung
reform.
pinapairal.
Okay.
Electoral reform yan. Pero magagawa rin natin yan. Pangatlo, tourism. Bakit yung tourism enterprise zone hindi kayo nagbibigay ng incentives na ando sa law? You are executives. You cannot say no. That is malfeasance, non-feasance, misfeasance. Hindi mo ginagawa yung trabaho mo. Mali yung implementation. Dapat pinapairal mo yan. Sana marami na tayong hotel. Ay, tanongin kita, ilan ang biyahe ng presidente? We got billions of dollars of investors. Nasaan yun? Wala. Panay MOU, panay photograph. Wala nangyayari. And then the 4th one is, ano nga ba yan? Tourism,
electoral reform,
automated election, ando na yan. Meron pang isa. Babalik sa akin yan. I'm having senior moments right now. And so is my staff.
It's been a long day for you. Parang, these are the things that you worked on before. Now you want to find out what happened or what didn't happen.
That is how bad we have become. If we cannot implement the law, kaya ako doon sa aking desk palagi, meron ako nung oath of office ko. Titignan ko yung pag hindi natin ginagawa, are we doing our oath? The President, to execute all laws, to enforce all laws. Lahat yan nakalagay doon. Pag hindi mo ginawa yan, you're in violation of your oath. That's what it is. Walang execution, walang enforcement.
Ano naman pong masasabi niya dun sa upcoming na hearings on the killings related to the drug campaign?
Well, they better have a good evidence because we are not policemen. Let the policemen do their job. Ang tanong ko ito, dapat nang investigate. I do not like killings. I am against the death penalty. Hindi pa niyo ako tinatanong. I said it before. My father was assassinated, but I'm against the death penalty. Why? Mas maganda pagka kinulong mo yan, nakikita ng mga tao, nakakulong siya, pati pamilya niya, nahihirapan, nabiyadala ng pagkain, ganyan, di ba? Pero pag pinatay mo, pag nagkamali ka, hindi mo na may babalik yung buhay. Marami pang iba. I will not use the Bible, chapter and verse.
Another senator beat you to it.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm glad that he's doing his best to act well. No? And I'll not put it against him because he's tried hard all his life. Pangalawa, killing is killing. Kung meron kang smoking gun, like I said, yung Del Rio, pinatay. Abay, teka, imbestigahan natin yan. Pero, ang totoo niyan, bumaba ang crime ng 13%. Should we be happy about it? Yes. Should we be happy about the killings? No, I'm not happy about the killings. I don't agree with it. But, we have to learn to act as a nation na kung tayo ay mag-i-elect na mabubuting leader, hindi tayo abot na ito. Kaya nangyayari ito, sabi ko nga doon sa speaker, kaya tayo lumitingin doon. Ngayon lang lumalabas. Ngayon lang naglalabas ang presidente. 5 tao, generals, tunay. Napatay pa nga yung nagsumbong doon sa isang general sa Cebu. Di ba? Ano pa niya? Kasaban ba ang pangalan nun? Napatay yun. Pinatay. Ngayon, kagabi, pinakita sa amin, binabasa niya, another siguro 139 names of mayors and policemen.
Babanggitin niya.
Ngayon lang, the man is serious about cleaning up on drugs. Pero pag nagkamali ka, kailangan meron kang explanation yan. Kung nagpapapatay ka, bawal yan. Iko-prosecute ka. Pero hindi mo naman siya, patayin mo yung tao yan. Wala naman lumalabas pang gano'n. Pero alam ko yan. Sabi ko nga doon ko, natatakot ang ibang pulis. Bakit ngayon nyo lang nalalaman? Ba't sinasabi nyo, drug pusher yan, namamatay yan? Ba't alam nyo na pala dati? Ba't hindi pa yun na hinuhuli nung araw pa?
Will you be in the hearing tomorrow? I think the first hearing is tomorrow.
You know, I attended the other meeting the other day. Pala, hindi ako member niyan. Hindi pala ako tinanggap doon sa Judiciary Committee. Hindi rin ako tinanggap doon sa Peace and Order Committee.
Ganun ba?
Natawagan ako. But I am a senator. I can attend, but I cannot vote. I cannot vote. But anyway, to my mind, there's got to be a better mousetrap. That's correct. So, I mean, I can investigate yung motu proprio.
Of course, yes. As Blue Ribbon, yes.
Ako lang meron na motu proprio, I can investigate. Pero like I said, nangyayari yan. Natutuwa ang tao dahil nawawala. Siyempre, nakikiramen tayo sa mga namamatay. Wala naman ako nakikita talagang na lumalabas na, alam, yung napatay nga, yung sa Pieta, sorry sa Inquirer, no? Sa Pieta, hindi natin alam kung sino papatay. Meron pa nakalagay, cardboard. Mali yan, ayoko yan. Pero, nakalagay rin sinasabi, nagtulak na droga So, ano talaga ang dapat na solution natin? Create the job opportunities. Move the people out of depression. Because, kahit ito, it will not be a solution. Magkakaroon pa rin ng droga dyan eventually because it's just too lucrative. They will take the risk also. But they are all in danger and so is our existence in the same as paano pag nagkamali yung pulis. Kaya nga dapat yung pulis, sisitayin mo, pag nagkamali, pukpukin mo ng gusto. Kamali, para mag-iingat rin sila. Takot sila ngayon dahil natatakot sila ngayon. Lumalabas yung pangalan mo. May nagsusumbong sa'yo.
Yun yung isang...
Never happened in the country.
Yun yung isang... kaya nababahala yung mga ibang tao na pati yung presidente mismo, aminado, marami mga pulis sangkot. And yet, we are giving the police extra latitude, no? With General De La Rosa and so on. Parang kulang pa yung kumbaga na-rehabilitate na reorganize yung police ganon.
I heard the president last night say he was tortured. Napakasama ng bayan, ang daming corrupt. He even said local government, tama ka dik, ang daming corrupt. Sabi niya, yung real property tax. Sabi ko, ikaw mo sir, bago kayo mag real property tax, that's a local government initiative. Pero sabi niya, parang hindi na apply ko, para hindi na hihingi ng pera ng local government sa kanya, hindi ina-adjust yung real property taxes Sila na mag-a-adjust para i-implement nila. Pero bago nila implement yan, dapat papakita nila saan gagawin yan. Pwede ba gawin nyo kalahati ng teachers? Pwede dyan, ilagay nyo sa teachers, education, training. Sabi niya, naku, tama ka dyan. Ang daming corrupt. Tumingin ka doon sa ilang bayan, sa ilang lugar dyan. Ang lalaki ng bahay. Dambuhala ng bahay. Yung mga city hall. Talo ang Senado, talo ang Kongreso. So, to me, yan ang resulta na talagang hindi natin maayos. Kaya yung frustration ngayon, saan ka makakita? Lahat, yung mga tao, yung iba nga, nagagalit pag sinasabi, tinitira mo pa nga. It doesn't make it right. It is wrong to kill. But you have to find out, testigo, siya ang pumatay, huli. Gawin mo. Pag nangyari yun, you're making the system work.
Tama. Senator, we only have 4 minutes left. Let's say hi first to our viewers on Facebook Live from Singapore, from the United Kingdom, and from Rome, Italy. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat.
Good afternoon po. At thank you for all the sacrifices. But one day, dapat tutulong na kayo dito sa ating bayan.
Baka hanggang ngayon pa lang, di ba, nagpapadala na sila ng o nagpapaaral. Senator, I wanted to use the last few minutes, if I can ask you to wear your Red Cross chairman hat, may habagat tayo the past several days, ilang araw na, gano'n, may buhawi pa nung isang araw. Tatamaan nga yung Red Cross, Can you give us an update? Kamusta naman ang...
Well, bumaba na, yung mga... Ito, I was hoping and my prayers were answered to a certain extent na hindi naging parang yung katulad ng bagyo na nakaraan, yung malakas, na babaha sa buong Maynila. I think nakapag-alert tayo. Nalulungkot ako na may nagibang wall, andun ang Red Cross, andun ang rescue truck, 10 ang taong tinamaan doon. Ang namatay doon, 3 ang na-save, 2 ang na-save ng Red Cross doon. Nakuha namin sa ilalim ng rubble because may rescue truck. 4 yung nadala namin sa hospital, yung 2 nabuhay, yung 2 patay. But magandang cooperation with the government and the Red Cross. Yung mga umalis doon sa Marikina, nag-evacuate, mabuti yan, dapat hindi na masyado tayo nahirapan. Ang iniingatan ko hanggang ngayon, yung baba ng tubig sa Cordilleras, sa Sierra Madre, pupunta sa Bulacan yan, pupunta sa Kalumpit, usually yan sa Bukawi, babaha dyan, mag-extend dyan. And I hope hindi na mangyari uli yun. Pero
yun ang binabantayan mo?
Binabantayan ko rin yan. Pero marami pang tinamaan. Yung Buhawi, akala namin tutuloy sa Tondo, sinabi namin Tondo, tumuloy sa Quezon City. So, thank God, hindi na ganun karami ang namatay, hindi ganun karami ang pinsala. Pero, nagpakain rin tayo ng kahit paano hot meals, ang gobyerno na nandun, tumutulong rin. So, it's important that we learn from this incident. At dapat tutulong tayo, hindi lang tayo nanonood. Yun ang kailangan natin sa lecture. It's a volunteer organization. Everybody should join. You should encourage your children para may gagawin sila, para hindi sila mapunta sa droga. They have self-worth pag tumutulong sila sa kapwa. Hindi sila magiging depressed na wala akong magawa sa buhay ko. To me, that is important. Kaya sa akin, napaka-importante ng extracurricular activities sa eskwela.
Hindi ba kasama yan sa storya ng Subic?
Yes.
Yung mga volunteers?
Yes. Nagvo-volunteer ang tao, so they felt very good about themselves. Ang problema, pag nawala ka na, at yung pumalit, medyo babawasan yung values, makakalimutan, babalik ulit yan. Kaya ngayon, di ba sinasabi ng araw, parang Marcos, backsliding. Tapos hanggang nahulog na tayong lahat. Yun ang importante. Yung bang leaders must come out, parents must come out, the school must come out. Hindi lang sinasabi ko anong ayaw natin, pero yung dapat natin gawin. Kaya to me, practice yan Yung pakikipagkusang loob, malasakit at kapwa-tao, yung magsasalita ka na hindi ka matatakot na pinag-aralan mo yung sasabihin mo, hindi enough mag-investigate, dapat meron ka talagang ilalabas na may makakagat ka na mahuhuli at matutuluyan. Yun ang importante.
Speaking of Marcos, maybe last question, how do you think this burial issue will play out?
Nakakapagod na yung issue na yan kasi hindi lang itong burial. Kasi how long do we tolerate the influence of Mr. Marcos here? To be fair, North Expressway. To be fair, San Juanico Bridge. To be fair, maraming infrastructure pa naman niya. Yung mga hospital natin malalaki. But to be fair, marami rin nangyari na accusations ng plunder. Marami rin nakuha mga bagay-bagay, mga jewelries, mga ganyan. Ang issue ngayon dito na nag-occupy sa atin, ililibing ba natin sa libing ng bayani? Stop. He is the president. May litrato siya sa Malacanang. Kung gusto nyo, tanggalin natin lahat yung litrato sa Malacanang, parang i-erase siya sa history book, erase mo sa lahat yan, nasa non-person. The communists used to do that. But, sa akin, to me, he has not proven to me that he is a hero. So, namamagaba ko, hindi. Maglagay ka, libingan ng mga pangulo. Meron naman nakalagay doon eh. Doon ka sa libingan ng Pangulo, but you're not a hero. The
Sabi
jury
nga
is
nila,
not out. The jury is not out.
Libingan ng mga bayani at isang diktador. Pwede daw.
pag nag-umpisa tayo dyan, babalik uli. Kaya walang katapusan. Ang problema natin, the prosecution fails. You're having killings now. People are taking the law into their own hands. It is safe to say that. Pero ano ba? Meron bang prosecution success? Wala eh. Hindi nahuli. Wala talagang naikulong na nakapasok eh. Di ba? Even dito sino ba talaga nagpapatay kay Ninoy? Wala eh. Hanggang ngayon, it's dadaan. So, nagdadaan.
There are several soldiers serving time, but I guess many people don't believe. But unfortunately, Senator, we are actually ang bilis ng takbo ng ko kasi parang nagsasalita si Senator, parang naghahabol lang ako. So I will turn over the microphone to our anchor.
Christine.
Magpapaalam na po tayo, Senator.
Unfortunately, Senator, we do not have enough time to discuss all the other issues na maganda pa sanang talakayin natin ngayong gabi. Pero nagpapasalamat kami for the 1 hour that you spent with us, and to all the other viewers who are watching INQ&A with Senator Dick Gordon. We'd like to have you in the future again. And for the others who are watching right now, if you didn't catch the start of the interview, you can still watch it on Facebook. And you can find the link on Twitter. Follow our social media accounts so you would know who our next guest would be for next week. Thank you and good night.
Great show. This is something that the people need, information.
Yes.
And so you can know all your leaders. Thank you, John.
Thank you,
Christine.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
Ito na ang mga winning lotto numbers, hatid ng PCSO at PTV4.
Your way with 2 must-see main events. It's the powerhouse.
Jackpot prize for tonight, 13,203,928 pesos. Once again, sir, please press that button. Let's now play Lotto 642. Maraming salamat muli sa ating chairperson and to the rest of our panel of judges sa paglala ng oras para samahan kaming maghatid ng swerte. 42 balls naman ang laman ng ating draw machine, and we will be waiting for 6 lucky balls. And the first number, 34. Ang lot of 642 ay isang pari-mutual game din. Halimbawa, kung isa lang jackpot winner, solo niya ang jackpot. Paghahatian naman ang jackpot kung dalawa o higit pa ang jackpot winners. And the second number, number 18. Pari-mutual naman consolation prizes ranging from 20 pesos to 25,000 pesos. Winners of 20 pesos to 5,000 pesos, pwede itong i-claim sa mga Lotto outlets. And the third number, 35. Kung winner na may get 5,000 pesos at jackpot prize, magdala ng 2 valid IDs at dito kayo sa main office tumungo. 8:15 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. pwede pong mag-claim ng premyo. And the fourth number, 41. Tax paid ng mga Lotto prizes. Ibig sabihin, walang kahit anong kaltas o bawas at buo niyo pong makukuha ang inyong premyo. And the fifth number, number 21. Isang number na lang ang hintayin natin na kukumpleto sa Lotto 642 Jackpot Winning Combination. Ikaw na kaya ang susunod na milyonaryo. And the sixth and final number, number 33, Philippines. Here are the official Lotto 642 winning numbers in any order: 34, 18, 35, 41, 21, and 33 for the jackpot prize of 13,203,928 pesos. tickets para sa mga digit games si handa na. Susunod na po yan sa aming pagbabalik.
Calling all fundraising organizations. Get the chance to raise more than 1.2 million pesos for your charity projects. Be a partner of PCSO in its mini sweepstakes special draws. The PCSO is opening its doors to all non-profit organizations, local government units, cooperatives, social civic groups, and associations to its newest project, PCSO Partner Tayo. Interested parties may visit the PCSO Product and Standard Development Department, 3rd floor, Conservatory Building, Shaw Boulevard, Mandaluyong City. You may also visit any of our branches in your vicinity or province or email us at pcso_marketing@yahoo.com. Partner tayo sa pagtulong sa Pilipino. Nakakatulong ka na, umaasenso ka pa.
Kung kayo po ay may mga charitable projects na kailangan ng pondo, pwede niyo pong maging ka-partner ang PCSO sa Sweepstakes Draw para sa inyong fundraising. Kagaya po sa October 1, 2016, magkakaroon po tayo ng Partner Tayo Special Mini Sweepstakes Draw in partnership with the Philippine Veterans Affairs Office Employees Association. Bukod sa malilikom na pondo para sa kanilang proyekto, may exciting prizes po na naghihintay mapanalunan. Kaya supportahan po sana natin yan. Para po sa iba pang katanungan, pwede pong tumawag sa 846-8764. Okay, game time ulit tayo. This time, Luzon players lang po muna ang maglalaro. Okay, Luzon, ihanda na ang mga tickets. It's time to play your 6-digit game. Wala tayong winner last Saturday at ang naipong first prize pool ay umabot na sa mahigit 1.3 million pesos as of our last draw. Ang 6-digit ay pari-mutual. Kung dalawa o higit pang mananalo ng first prize, atin ang first prize equally kung ilan ang first prize winners. Kung sakali namang maraming manalo ng first prize, 150,000 pesos ang premyong iuwi ng bawat first prize winner. There you have it, our 6-digit winning combination for tonight. The first digit, 7. The second digit, 4. The third digit, 5. The fourth digit is another 5. The fifth digit, 7. And the sixth digit, number 3. Once again, our 6-digit winning combination for tonight. 7, 4, 5, 5, 7, and 3 in exact order. Okay, lucky 3 numbers naman tayo. Let's play Suertes Lotto. Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Nasa evening draw na tayo ng Suertes Lotto. Sa game na to, kailangan lang mag-match ang inyong 3 numbers sa Suertes Lotto winning combination in exact order. Pag nakuha mo ang Suertes Lotto in exact order, panalo ka ng 4,500 pesos. And playing via the Rambolito system play wins you 750 or 1,500 pesos. At napil ng ating digit machines. The first digit, number 2. The second digit, 7. And the third digit, number 8. Double check your tickets. Our Suertes winning combination for tonight. 2, 7, and 8 in exact order. Ang paboritong 2-number game ng Pilipinas, susunod na. Let's play Easy 2 Lotto. Easy lang manalo dito sa Easy 2 Lotto. Pumila ng tig-isang number from 1 to 31 sa dalawang subsets ng inyong Easy 2 Lotto play slips. Fixed prize na 4,000 pesos ang panalo sa bawat 10 pisong nilaro mo kung mag-match ang dalawang numbers sa ating Easy 2 Lotto winning combination in exact order. And play via the Rambolito wins you 2,000 pesos. At nakapili na ng Easy 2 Lotto winning numbers. The first number, 20. And the second number, 19. Recapping tonight's Easy 2 Lotto winning numbers, we have the numbers 20 and 19 in exact order. Congratulations po sa lahat ng mga nanalo. Kung may ticket ka para sa PCSO morning and afternoon draws, nandito po ang resulta. Panoorin natin. The results of our 11 a.m. draw. For the Easy 2 Lotto, the winning numbers are 25 and 9 in exact order. For the Suertres Lotto, the winning combination is 9, 3, and 8 in exact order. The results of the 4 p.m. draw. For the Easy 2 Lotto, we have 25 and 7 in exact order. For the Suertres Lotto, the lucky numbers are 7, 8, and 4 in exact order.
Kung isa ka sa maswerteng Lotto winners, easy-easy lang mag-claim ng premyo. Isulat ang pangalan at pirmahan ang likod ng winning ticket. Kung nanalo ng 20 pesos hanggang 5,000 pesos, maaaring i-claim ang premyo sa mga authorized Lotto outlets. Sa mga winners ng mahigit sa 5,000 pesos maliban sa jackpot, pumunta sa pinakamalapit na PCSO branch sa inyong lugar o sa PCSO main office at magdala ng 2 valid IDs. At winner ka, dalhin ang winning ticket at 2 valid IDs, i-claim ang inyong premyo sa PCSO main office.
Sa mga late na nag-tune in, kumuha na ng ballpen at papel. Ulitin ko na po ang mga resulta ng draws natin ngayong gabi. Simulan natin sa Easy 2 Lotto winning numbers. 20 and 19 in exact order. Suertres Lotto, 2, 7, and 8 in exact order. 6 digits, 7, 4, 5, 5, 7, and 3 in exact order. Lotto 642 in any order, 34, 18, 35, 41, 21, and 33 for the jackpot prize of 13,203,920 pesos. At sa Super Lotto 649 in any order, 14, 11, 29, 22, 5, and 9 for the jackpot prize of 82,316,564 pesos. Ang mga resulta kung may jackpot winner tayo ngayong gabi ay dala na po ng ating Data Security Representative. Thank you, ma'am. Alright, for the Super Lotto 649, we have 1 winner. And for the Lotto 642, we have no winner. Para po sa PCSO, Queenie Balita, Good Night Pilipinas. Susunod na po ang PTV News.
Ang bahaging ito ay inihatid sa inyo ng PCSO at ng PTV4. Maaga, maagap.